Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of LFC Transfer Room. It's the Saturday Night Club, and once again, I'm blessed to have the company of Colin and that boy West. I think it's the first time that you've been on the Saturday night stream, so very, very big welcome to you. Colin and I will try and show you the ropes. Colin is a regular on this Saturday night slot, and it's a pleasure to have you both. It's been a little bit of a mess up, I'm not going to lie, in terms of admin. So thanks for staying with us. My internet was cracking and stuff like that. So I do apologise. But listen, it's been a day for it. It's been a day of absolute mess ups without trying to swear too much on stream. You know, it is a little bit early. So yes, it's been an absolute disaster of a day, really, with catastrophes.
See, and we knew it. What Richie was saying was that it's been a mess from the beginning. And it was a mess from the beginning of this game as well. West, at what point in the game did you realize that it was going to be one of those days?
You know, it's not like you see this game. It's not like Liverpool started playing bad, You were pretty much decent in the game. When I saw the red card, and I was like, "Yo, okay."
Knew what we knew that it was going to be one of those days. Yeah, certainly. Sometimes sometimes it just is. That's how it's going to be, and that's okay. Richie back.
Yeah, see, I just told you it's a disaster from start to finish today.
I asked Wes, I said, at what point in the game did you realize it was going to be one of those days? And, his response, to be fair, was more positive and optimistic than mine, which was, we felt like we were in it until the red. I thought, I don't know. This seems like it's going to be one of those struggles. Fulham are a good team, and they're well organized, and certainly I think are going to continue their good run of form, barring any injuries for the, at least the next couple months, I would assume. I think they're a really good team. I think they're hard to play against.
I think it speaks volumes the fact they can rest Emil Smith-Rowe, at Anfield, who's been a really standout player for them. And then, he came on and actually I was expecting him to really notch it up a gear for Fulham, and he didn't. I personally think we didn't switch on until that red card, if I'm honest. I think the red card actually didn't do us a favour, but I think it woke us up. I wasn't impressed with the first 15 minutes at all. I did think we were a bit lackadaisical. I had shades of Girona, and I didn't think we were very good. But after that, I tell you what, Liverpool were the best team after that red card, hands down. You would not have thought we were the team with 10 players. I thought that we were very, very impressive after that. Anyway, listen, sorry for that. Yeah, like I said, I've dropped out and I'm back in again. So if I drop out, Colin, I'm sure we'll pull up the ranks. The goal was the goal. I don't really have too many issues with the goal itself. I don't think the Liverpool defenders covered themselves in glory. I don't think Trent covered himself in glory all day, but we'll talk about Trent later. The goal was the goal, right? It took a deflection. I think Ali might have got there. Again, it's one of those that you never really know. The deflection, obviously, off Robbo, it did take it high and above. You can't really complain. I thought it was a great cross. I thought it was a fantastic cross and one that's really difficult to defend against. I mean, do you lads have any issues about the goal? Do you pinpoint the blame somewhere? I know we tried to not play the blame game, but was there anyone in there who could have done better? I mean, I just think Fulham played really well out of the traps. And do you know what? The irony is that a lot of teams come to Anfield and silence the crowd by playing and keeping the ball, like playing it dull. Fulham silenced the crowd by scoring a goal, and fair play to them for doing that. I mean, Wes, what did you think after that goal went in? Was there anything going on through your mind?
That goal went in. I looked at our fullbacks today, which I wasn't impressed with them today, because Robertson just ran through Trent, cross, goal. I felt like me personally, Robertson should have done better, because I think the ball did stay up in the air for Pereira to get in that position to hit it. I think it stayed up in the air. I feel like Robertson should have hit the ball or clashed with the man. But then, one minute down, I was like, you know what, man, I think we can still come back. Because I remember the Brighton game, we were 1-0 down and we were off it. I was like, nah, I think trust the boys. The red card is the one that made me like sit back in my seat. Like, it can be one of those days. It can really be one of those days. So So now when the game for me, the fullbacks, it was like I was trying to blame players, but then I couldn't blame anyone. I could blame mostly our fullbacks, Trent and
Yeah.
Robertson. They were poor today. If like we can be honest, Trent the second goal, his fault. I feel like he should have done better defending Robertson and Robertson. The red card was a bit clumsy. Like, I think everything went out the window because of that red card.
Mm.
Because I saw Slot changing many players. Gap was the left back, he went attacking, put Gomez, and now it's just a whole disaster today. But when I give credit to Slot, I think he made his money today.
Mm.
Ironically, like I said, I think we were better when the red card came. But I mean, let's go back to the first goal. We will unpack absolutely everything. And West is right to talk about all of these things, but we will unpack everything bit by bit. I mean, Colin, when that first goal went in, what are your thoughts?
I think the finish from Pereira is really, 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 really good.
Mm.
I don't think that we do a phenomenal job defending in any phase there. I think we get played through probably too easily. I don't think we get out to try to block the cross well enough. And I don't think Robertson has a good enough idea of closing down his man on that backside. Certainly in this case, maybe not always overall, but in that case, I don't think he does a great job. But he still's got to finish it, and it's a really good job to get up and to get his foot around it and put it somewhere where it has the chance to go in. Yeah, I don't think that we do a great job, but they still have to make that goal happen, and I thought Pereira did a great job for
it. Listen, I can't get my head around, and I said it in the chat at the time, actually, I don't know why the ref didn't look at the Diop challenge on Robertson quite early on. And I get that he sort of gets the ball, but that foot is extremely high upon Robertson's leg. And the Fulham players were actually appealing that he shouldn't have even got a yellow. Looking back, and I know you've seen, I'm sure all of you have seen the still images on Twitter. And it looks horrendous, but it's not sometimes as simple as like it's a still image because there is motion behind it. I don't like looking at stills, but it did. I was looking back and thinking, it's like for me, it's an orange card. You know, it's always that one between a yellow and a red.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they didn't go back and look at it.
I thought the refereeing was strange, not terrible, but just some strange decisions. Again, like nothing that was like incredibly egregious or nothing that was like, is going to get people up in arms about. But I just thought that the way that the game was kind of control, referees can have a real effect on the control of the game and the flow of the game. I thought this one just played out very weirdly. It was just weird when he intervened and how he intervened versus not.
Yeah, and I was just surprised he didn't go back and look at it. I mean, on reflection, it could have been given a red. If it was given a red, I would have said, yes, it's a red. It was given a yellow. I was like, well, you could go back and look at it. But listen, that's by the by. Now, Honest Slot actually said afterwards, which was really interesting, like that injury might have done Robertson a little bit, because in terms of him tracking back and obviously getting the red card, Slot actually said Robbo's quicker than that. So maybe he was trying to play through the injury. Maybe he was trying to play through that. And he's credited Robbo's character, which is fine. Robbo's a war horse. I absolutely adore the man. But at the same time, like maybe it did have a bigger impact than what we thought. So, yeah, I mean, there was contentious decisions. And again, like we said, we'll go through all of it. But for the Diop challenge, that was a bit of a one that I was quite unsure of. And then West, we obviously saw the raking of the back of the Achilles, which is an awful, it's horrible. It makes my stomach turn every time I see it. I think that was Andres Pereira, wasn't it, who stood on the back of Grav's Achilles. And it wasn't a very nice tackle. Again, if I'm honest, I think it's a yellow. People were asking for a red on Twitter, etc. I do think it's a yellow. Again, I think it's probably an orange card if there was such a thing. But I do think that a yellow at that point in the game is pretty fair. Do you agree, or do you think that actually that should have been looked at in more detail as well?
I kind of agree with you also, because back then I'm also at the other side where I seen those being given as a red card in the Premier League. Let's be honest, I'm sure we've all seen those being given as a red card. So I'm kind of 50-50. I also agree with you totally where it's a yellow card, like it's a mistake, minor things happen. But then I seen those being given though. In the rest of the matches, like I seen red cards, like crazy red cards being given. So for me, I don't like dwelling on the referee of the game because the referee already the first challenge on Jota on Robertson send off. He was supposed to send him off, me personally. But then okay, cool. So I don't look at the referee. I just look at the team performance, and because now the referees in this country, in England per se, are not consistent. So like, of course, we are gonna have those type of games where the referee actually did, like mess us up. So yeah.
Big Dan's with us, one of the boss men. Dan, big shout out to you. Please talk about Robbo, boys. I don't know what to make of him. We will get on to Robbo. I am going to keep you on tender hooks, though. You are going to have to stay with us for a little while. We're going to break down the match first, and I promise you, Dan, because you are the man, we will be talking about Andy Robertson, Trent, the January signings, and obviously the King of Kings. Not Mohamed Salah this week, but Ryan Gravenberch as well. So yeah, we will absolutely get on to everything that you boys are commenting on in the comments. So let's go with the red card then, because it's a stonewall red for me. I actually saw Mark Goldbridge, a very famous YouTuber for Manchester United. He's a Manchester United fan, etc. And he said that he thought Van Dijk was able to come across. For me, as soon as I knew that Harry Wilson was onside, I thought our only saving grace was that if Harry Wilson is offside. And as soon as those green lines were drawn, he was onside. That was it for me. Robbo, straight red. I had no arguments about that. I thought it was an absolute red, Colin. And I thought it was a fair decision, actually. And as much as I hate red cards and think, he's probably got a point there, I had no arguments about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an unfortunate one where I don't either. I love having an excuse to argue against the referee. I think that they made the right decision in this case. He's just in the wrong position to be making that kind of challenge. There's just no one behind. So it sucks. It sucks to be to lose them for the game, and then for whatever the red card suspension is going to be. Yeah, it emphasizes, I think, a need. A need for a left back. I don't foresee Tsimikas being the short term or the long term solution there. I think Tsimikas is fine as a backup. I actually am higher on him than a lot. I know a lot of the people in the chat are, but part of the problem is he's not available for selection currently. So. I don't know that Robertson would be playing in a game like this, given the midweek game, given how much he's played. I don't know that he plays in a game like this and gets a red card if Tsimikas is available, or whoever the second left back would be available. So, as this is indeed the LC transfer room, I think that to me has kind of come into sharp focus as something that they're definitely going to make sure to do business, whether it is indeed this January or next summer.
Do you know what's funny as well? I think a lot of people were calling for a left back, and it wasn't to replace Robbo, it was to replace Costas. And the fact that that obviously didn't happen, it didn't come to fruition. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about January transfers in a bit, but I just, after the midweek game against Girona, he got man of the match in the Champions League, and I thought he had a really good game. Yeah, Robbo, as what I will say, he has run himself into the ground for Liverpool Football Club. There is no other person, especially at left back, who I can remember at my ripe old age at 36. Yes, I am that old. I know I don't look it. But I can't remember anyone running as much as what Robertson has done. Really what we should be doing is, yes, he has a game midweek, and then he should be playing in that James Milner role, the Hammers Milner, where he has a cameo in that next game for like 10, 20 minutes just to see it out, just to steady the nerves, steady the ship. For him, playing 2 full 90s in a week isn't really enough. Now, I know that he's not played a full 90. He only lasted 17 minutes. But as you said, it's the rest.
He would have been. I mean, and this is something that we've been harping on since. This is something that I have been really, really hammering on since I started coming on and talking on the channel, which is the way to get the most out of aging players and aging stars, right? I don't see Robertson as someone you can just write off and someone you should just get rid of. Like, I don't think that that's how you should do business. Also, I think he's just frankly better than that. But the way to get performances out of aging players is not to make them play constantly, is to make sure that you're managing their minutes really well and making sure that they don't have to, except in, you know, extreme circumstances, be slated to play 290s in a week or more. And when he does, then you start to see things like this, whether it's like you mentioned, you know, him, maybe he was being affected by getting stepped on. But the fact of the matter is, if we have a healthy and competent, you know, second left back, he's not playing this game. He wouldn't have, he either, after starting midweek and getting man of the match, he wouldn't have been playing. And that's how you long-term manage these kinds of players. It's not just to get rid of them, but it's also not to play them every single game, unfortunately.
West, Robbo is such a leader, like in the dressing room. I think he has perhaps been one of Liverpool's best buys in the past 20 years, considering he came for 8.5 million from a relegated Hull team. You know, the Flying Scotsman has done wonders for Liverpool. Let's not forget the amount of assists and goal contributions that he has from left back alone. He's almost like transformed that left wing back role and really pushed on in terms of that. And yes, his minutes should be managed and bits like that. But how do you feel he fits into this slot system, which is more possession based? Let's be honest, you know, it isn't. And I know that Jurgen hated it towards the end, that heavy metal, high press football. He hated the term, I think, in the end, heavy metal, but that's what Robbo was. He was, you know, like I say, he's a Flying Scotsman. He was bombing on. He was going past every single left winger and right winger, left fullback, etc. Like, you know, he was just going past everyone. Now he's more controlled in possession, and it's a slower build up. Does the system fit Robertson, do you think? Or is it a fact of, you know, we saw him in Girona. Let's not write him off, because in Girona, he was man of the match, you know, and it's very strange. But then again, you look back, he's conceded 2 penalties in 2 games, and he had only conceded 2 penalties in his career for Liverpool, that not included this season, all of the time he's played for Liverpool. So he's conceded the same amount of penalties this season as he has ever. Does this system fit him? Is it an equal fit, or is it a case of, no, he has to have his minutes managed now and he's an as and when player?
I agree with both of you guys. Robertson, I won't hate on him, but today it disappointed. But then for me, Robertson, this system, he looks a bit shaky, guys. Let's be honest. Like, you know, the system is about control. Trent, you know what Trent is surviving because Trent has the long range passing. Robertson doesn't have that. Robertson is used to running back and forth, back and forth. So now, Robertson, now for me, I think now it's time for his minutes to be. I think, as Colin said, it's time for him to play like James Milner, manage his minutes now. You can't expect Robertson to play 90 minutes, 2 games in a row, 90 minutes. So for me, Robertson in the system, it wasn't it for me. I saw him the first preseason game against Arsenal, and I looked at him like, this might be a problem. I think Liverpool like need to solve that problem, the left back problem, because I think defense will are solid, but it's just like now. First, it was Chandler's on the other side before seasons ago, where it was a weak side. Now we're looking at Robertson's side, which is also like the weak side at this point. And as Colin says, like Tsimikas is not a long-term project. It's not like Tsimikas. Tsimikas is a person that I need to trust. I look at him as a stopgap, but not a person where let's go win the league. No, I don't believe that. But then, yeah, Robbo is Robbo.
Yeah, I'd love to see him hang around and really play and bring in whoever it's going to be. Whether that is a Kirkes. I mean, to be fair, Anthony Robinson, I thought had a really good game considering he got a yellow early on up against Mo Salah. I thought he had a really good game too. There are left backs out there, which is good because, you know, sometimes we've been shopping in the centre midfield market. We said, oh, Zubimendi's not coming and there's no one else available. Great. Now, in hindsight, because we've got Ryan Gravenberch, who's probably one of the best midfielders in the Premier League at the moment. I thought he had a stunning game today. So impressed with him. But yeah, there are left-back options out there. I can't see us adding in January, if I'm completely honest, because Kirkes isn't going to want to move mid-season. Bournemouth are doing all right. I don't think Robinson is probably a term target, really, if I'm honest, considering his age. So I can't see us going in for a left-back, if I'm honest. Owen Beck scored for Blackburn, actually, today, so he might be one that we might think of in the future if Costas and Robbo go in the summer. But I mean, I suppose it's a watch this space. But I do think, and it's not reactionary, we have said it since the summer, more reinforcements is needed in that left back position. Now, what is interesting is I thought Gomez, when he played last season in that left back role was really solid. I thought that he was brilliant, and it'll be interesting to see what happens against Southampton. I know it'll be a rotated squad. Robbo's suspension is against Southampton, unless obviously it gets extended, which I don't think it will or can. He will be available against Tottenham, so therefore he just misses the Carabao Cup game against Southampton. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, who slot plays there. So we're moving on, okay, past the Robbo red card, which I think we all agree with. Then we've got, during that game, a real Liverpool revival, and there's a couple of chances where perhaps Liverpool could score. I wouldn't say they're massively clear cut. You've got obviously the Diaz overhead kick, and the flick on as well. Going in at half time, I was actually looking at the Arsenal game and thinking, how are they not beating Everton at home? And if this can stay like this, then it's not too bad. Arsenal gain a point over us. So we go in after the second half. I thought Slot's tactics and his tweaking was phenomenal. I love the fact he tried Gakpo as a left wing back, Trent pushing really wide on that right flank to really try and stretch Fulham, because Salah in the first 15 minutes was non-existent. I forgot he was on the pitch, if I'm honest. Now, obviously, he came into his own, and again, Mohamed Salah's going to do what Mohamed Salah does. That didn't quite work. Drops Gravenberch back into a centre-back role, pushes Gomez out to the left. You're basically playing a 3-3-3, which is unheard of. Liverpool looked so at home. I was so impressed by them. Honestly, we didn't sit back. We didn't defend. We didn't trigger a defender to come on and then push Gomez out to the left. I know we brought Quansah on later, which again was a good move. But I was so impressed with what Slot did, Colin. He didn't panic. He just said, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll try this system. Nah, it don't really work. We're going to try this system. That works. And we keep pushing Fulham and we keep pushing them back. And the crowd today, if you were there at that game, phenomenal. Hands down, I take my hat off to you. I should have been at the game today. I had to resell my ticket. I had to put it back on the portal because it's my daughter's birthday. Shout out to Eva. Happy 7th birthday. But if you were at that game, today, round of applause to you, because honestly, you were the 12th man today, and I'm not talking about the referee. So yeah, massive kudos to you. Colin, how impressed were you with Slot's literal tactician? Bosh, bosh, bosh. Doesn't work. This works, stick.
Yeah, I think he and his team, because I don't want to write off the the rest of the coaching staff as well. I think that their in-game tactical analysis and changes that they make at half are unbelievable. I don't think that they're just better than what previous staffs that we've had have been. I think they're better than pretty much everybody in the leagues. I think that the shifts and the tactic board stuff that they get done and get through and implemented at half, because they were tweaking for pretty much the rest of the first half. There was that time where Gravenberch was in at center back, and he ended up pushing more forward, and you could see them kind of go through these progressions. But once they had kind of tested these couple of things, they make it to the half, and when they come out, they're set. And this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play for the next 25 minutes until the subs come on. And when the subs come on, then they're going to do this. And I think it's really, really impressive work from the coaching staff, from the players to execute it, because it's hard. It's hard work to cover that extra ground and that extra space and frankly, I don't think if any one person doesn't do their job for the rest of the game, we don't get points. Every single person has to be doing the job for the rest of the game in order to get the chance to get those points. So those combinations plus the crowd were unbelievable. They were absolutely up for it. And you could feel it. That second, you knew once they started the second half, there just was an energy about it. It was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go for the points. We've got nothing else to lose. We're already down the points if nothing happens. So might as well absolutely throw the kitchen sink at it. So, and that's what we did. And I thought, honestly, you can make an argument that we almost deserved the 3 points. I thought we were absolutely flying for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I did. I thought we were the better team. I generally did for that second half. I thought that we deserved the win. That second, our first goal then, West, where Gakpo's got a. Oh, if you can look at the picture, that's how you do a diving header, by the way. You absolutely leather, your body forwards and dush it in. Like, it was a great cross from Mo, and obviously a great finish from Cody. So when that goal went in, I actually missed it because I was just coming down from upstairs. My mate had messaged me, and he went, "Get in." And I was like, I missed it, completely missed it. So I got down to see the replay, and then obviously I saw the whole move. But West, like at that point where Cody's nodded it in, it's more than what we deserved. I thought we were right back in it. And again, Gravenberch, Cody Gakpo coming in off that left. He's a left winger through and through. That's his best position for me. He's coming up clutch again in a big, big game. How important is Cody Gakpo, do you think, for Liverpool's title ambitions?
It's very important after today, yeah. Because I felt like watched like today, and it's one of those games where the Nottingham Forest game where we don't look like scoring. And when Salah hit that cross, I was like, okay, well, I'm like, okay, the boys will be the boys when I throw in the fight. And I was kind of impressed with Gakpo's game today. Like all the boys are giving credit today. Like Gakpo, the way he was driving with the ball, the chances he created, it was kind of like it shows how important. But I remember when we first joined, we all had the idea like you wanna be a Firmino. He could link up play. But in his best position is actually at the left wing. Because now he gets to cut in, take players on. So now Gakpo is really important for us. Like, people say Salah's goal, but then just look around him. Gakpo, Luis Diaz. Not today, he didn't have a great game, but then he showed fights. So now Gakpo is really important for us for the title, really. And I think Liverpool should actually focus on ourselves and not care about what other teams are doing.
I think the Euros really helped Gakpo cement that left-hand side because obviously he had to play in midfield with Klopp. Well, I say had to. I mean, he did play in midfield for Klopp as that 8. He wasn't that effective. And then he plays through the middle trying to be that Firmino. And he's not a Firmino. He's too, as silly as it sounds, he's too tall to be a Firmino. He's not got the agility. He's not got the flair that Firmino possessed. That Euros that he had for Holland, like he played really well on that left-hand side. And I think that cemented that left-hand position. And obviously he played on that left-hand side and he's done brilliantly since. And that is how he is. He is a left-sided player. And I think he's got every single goal in his bag. He can score from range. He can score headers. He can score tap-ins and he can smash a ball as well. So after that goal goes in, I'm thinking, we can't, can we? We're kicking into the Kop. We can't do it, can we? We surely can't do this. Not again. There's too many miracles that happen on Anfield. This one can't be another one. But I thought the game itself played out very well. And I suppose this is the part where I talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold, because actually we're throwing lots of praise, and rightly so, towards the Gravenberchs, towards the Gakpos, towards the Salahs, towards the Gomez's. I thought Van Dijk had a good game as well, and Alisson. I was not impressed with Trent today, if I'm honest. I hate to say it. I adore the man. I really hope he signs a contract extension. I love the fact that he actually came out with a tweet and said, he's had 3 contract extensions since being at Liverpool and not one of them have played out in public. Don't expect the same from this one. I completely agree with that. His business is his business, but his head was in the clouds today when it came to defensive capabilities. I think he's our greatest weapon, but today there were too many runners going past him. He was too switched off, and as much as I love to praise people, I think sometimes we have to look at actually he could have done better. And I think Trent would probably himself say that too, Colin. There were too many times when Alex Iwobi went past him. There were too many times when he was shrugged off the ball, when he's gone in for a big shoulder barge and Iwobi's just gone, no thanks, see you later. There's too many times where that happened today. I don't know why. I generally don't. I don't buy into the fact that his head's already at Madrid. I don't think he's that type of player. I think he's loyal to Liverpool. His head's not at Madrid or with Jude Bellingham, as some fan accounts suggest. I don't believe that. I just think today was a little bit of a bad game.
Yeah, and I don't think his head has to be at Madrid already, or as people online would like to say that, in order for contract negotiations and kind of behind the scenes stuff to be affecting him. You know what I mean? Like, just because maybe he is being affected by, the amount, like contractual negotiations, even though they obviously are going to go through his his representation and through his lawyers, like he still has to like sit down and think about, what he wants. And that's a whole process that he has to go through too. So I don't think it would be a stretch to say that there probably are, ulterior things that are affecting him as well. And I don't think it's too harsh to say, yeah, like not a great game defensively from him. Like it just wasn't there today. I think that they tactically were honestly trying to pick on him. And I do think him trying to slide into a more forward position and also tracking back against those runners really was something that Marcus Silva was trying to emphasize against us. So, I mean, and as well, like I thought Iwobi was really great today.
Yeah, he was.
I thought he was everywhere. I like he's ageless. I feel like he's been playing for 15 years or 20 years. I can't believe that he's still playing this well. And I thought they used him as a weapon. I think sometimes you get older players and really what you see from older players is a level of tactical intelligence to know that he can kind of play cat and mouse with him and sit off of his shoulder and make him have to think about, tracking the runner. And so that takes away from him going forward as well. So I don't think it was his best day. I certainly think that there are better days for Trent ahead. And I as well do hope that they're in a Liverpool kit rather than anywhere else.
I still hold out hope. I still think that he resigns. I just listen, like it's so difficult, and like I don't know his mindset, obviously, and none of us do really. And I think that's why it's really unfair for fan accounts on Twitter to say, "Oh, his head's at Madrid," because you don't know what that man's feeling. You don't know what he feels like. Everybody has had their head turned at one point in their career. Like speaking personally, I've had 2 offers in the past couple of months where I'm like, and your head does get scrambled, and your head gets all over the place and you don't know what to do. So I don't blame him. And now, listen, I'm not talking about the bloody money that Real Madrid are offering me either.
Well, I was going to say, and then try to but you take that experience that you have and then you try to empathize with someone who is going through a similar thing. And then you have to multiply it by tens of millions, if not more, in total compensation. You try to sit in, and I understand that's a very a very privileged problem for those kind of people to have. But also, if we're talking about is it affecting him? I'm sure it is. Yeah. That's a very human thing, and I totally agree with you. I wouldn't want to be in that position where regardless of what's going to happen with him, it's going to be publicized and it's going to be put out into the public, and it's I guess not a fun situation to have to deal with regardless.
I mean, all of Madrid removed West. I think Trent defensively has been brilliant, and it's an old adage where people say, "Oh, he can't defend," because actually he's been phenomenal. I said even last week, I think it was on stream, that I think Trent is the best right back defensively for England, especially as an English player. I just think today was an off day. That's all, and that's what we put it down as. What I did see was a lot of people saying, it's the jogging, whereas you got the Szoboszlai sprinting, and that probably doesn't help. I do think it's a lazy narrative where people see players jogging because perhaps they don't see what's around them. You haven't got 360 eyes. So perhaps that was it. And again, I'm not writing off Trent Alexander-Arnold because I think he's an absolute beauty. I think that he's the future Liverpool captain. Today was an off day. Let's put it down as that, West. I suppose what I do want to ask though is, could Liverpool have done better for Fulham's second goal? Because it was caught on the break. Yes, it was a beautiful flick, I thought, from Muniz, but it did take a little deflection. I don't know whether it'll go down as his goal or a Joe Gomez goal. Alisson took a good old whack as well. Do you think Liverpool were a bit naive in pressing for that goal? Because obviously they got caught on the overlap or they got caught with an over ball. Or do you think actually, fair play to Fulham, it was a decent enough goal?
I thought that's what proposed. When I was watching the game, It's like you see Gomez when he went to the left side. I think that locked up everything. He did, I don't think Harry Wilson did much at Gomez's side. But then every time when the Fulham were attacking, they always started the Trent side because Trent would be far up. So now I look at us like I feel like the second goal, like I think it was sloppiness. Like I think they were naive because now I saw the goal because every time Fulham counter attack, Trent was nowhere to be seen. It was always Gravenberg, um, Van Dijk always running back. So now I was one of them ones where like today Trent had a bad game today. He was completely off. So now I think I look at the defense, I feel like Kwanzaa could have done better even more when Robertson like I saw they had a shoulder to shoulder. I feel like Kwanzaa should have done a bit more. And yeah, I won't blame Gomez, I won't blame the keeper. It was kind of a nice goal, but then like I feel like the build up I think is the one that killed us.
Yeah, I don't blame any the Gomez, especially, or the goalkeeper. You know, Gomez has done what he's supposed to do and tried to block the shot, and it's just clipped off his heel. And then, yeah, poor old Ali took a whack. I was thinking at the time, oh no, he's another 3 weeks out for Alisson. You know, with the concussion ruling. But alas, we go again. He was cleared, and you know, Liverpool did well. The big turning point, I suppose, was the substitutes then that came on, Colin, because we saw Darwin Núñez come on and Diogo Jota, which I thought were two very good, well-timed substitutes actually from Arne Slot. And then Núñez ended up setting up Diogo Jota, whose goal was, it was sublime. It was a chef's kiss. It was the drop of the shoulder, and it was give the keeper the eyes, shimmy one way, and literally pass it into the opposite net when Leno had already made his move. I thought that is Diogo Jota. If you can say, hey Siri, show me what Diogo Jota is, that goal completely typifies and defines who Diogo Jota is. And that is what Liverpool have been missing, you know, the absolute clinical finisher. I thought Núñez did well in the past. He was cool, he was composed, but that finish, like it shouldn't be shrugged upon. That's a difficult finish to go past the defender, then give the keeper the eyes, make him go one way and you go the next, and literally just pass the ball into the net.
I love the man. I absolutely love him. Every time he comes back, he does something exactly like this, and I'm like, I love that man. I want him in my team all the time. He is not the most aesthetically pleasing footballer to watch. Like he's not, you know, he's not gonna like light the world on fire with the skills. He just is so ruthlessly effective, and to me, like that's exactly the kind of footballer I like. Like I am not someone who cares about flair. I'm not someone who cares. I think it can be, you know, obviously, you know, playing the beautiful game, it can be beautiful, and I think when it's expressed that way. But if we're talking about like just winning the game, I want him on my team all the time. But the other thing I was thinking about as he was scoring that goal is all of the Bernd Leno getting sent the wrong way by Diogo Jota in that and other Liverpool strikers in that end of the stadium. And I think about the Firmino goal against Arsenal probably 5 or 6 years ago now. You know, Bernd Leno's just going the wrong way at Anfield. He's always leaning the wrong way. Yeah, love it. I can't wait for him to be integrated more. I can't wait for him to continue to score goals for us.
And for me, like you said, it's the Diogo Jota. I was going like this earlier because like he's saying I'm back, you know, and he's so unfortunate with injuries. It's not like, I mean, we've had players who suffer from injuries before, the Naby Keitas, the Thiagos, the Danny Sturridges, like of the world. He has freak injuries. You know, someone landed on his ribs after a bad tackle and it rules him out for like 2 months. And, you know, the one before where someone landed on his knee and he's out for a few. It's like he's the most unfortunate player ever when it comes to injuries. It's like he's not injury prone. He's just like injury welcoming, you know, it's that sort of thing. He doesn't pick up little niggles here and there. It's the I don't know. It's just bad things happen to him. But when he comes back, he is phenomenal. He's the best finisher at the club, bar Mo Salah, probably. And yeah, I was so happy to see him back because we need Diogo Jota. As much as I love Diaz through the middle, as much as I love Nunes through the middle, Diogo Jota is an absolute clinical finisher, and he will do nothing. We've seen it. We used to say the same for Michael Owen. He will do nothing for 60 minutes, but he'll pop up with a hat-trick in 4. He's that sort of player. He's that good a finisher. West, were you impressed with Nunes today? He's come under a little bit of slack, really. I think it was a bit unfair, if I'm honest. As you all know, for those who always listen into the Saturday night stream, I am a fan of Nunes. I do like him. I love his work rate. He's an absolute workhorse. And I would love to see him score more goals. But I thought the criticism against Girona, he could have scored. Let's be honest. He could have scored and maybe should have scored. But I would never, ever slate anybody who works as hard as what he does. And again, he's the one who won the ball back. He's the one who, shrugged off. I can't remember the player who it was. Was it Lukic, maybe? But and anyway, and slid it into Jota. What's your opinion on West? And everyone else, please. We've got over 3,000 new view in the chat. So thank you so much for joining us on the Saturday Night Club for LFC Transfer Room. What's your opinion on Darwin Núñez?
I'm sure everyone knows my views. For me, I always say Nunes has 12 months. He has this season. That's what I always say. I have nothing to say. No matter if he misses last week, he has this season. So now, but today, as I said, like I credit all the boys today. Like they actually showed their money's worth. Like, we're down to 10 men, 2-1 down. And the way Nunes and Jota, the way they linked up, it was kind of great. I was actually happy. Even though Nunes wanted to score goals, but then like today, it shows why most of the fans do love you because of your passion. You fought for the badge. And yeah, I can only say great assist and lovely goal for Jota. And I'm happy Jota is back now.
I love him. I hope that he stays at Liverpool for a very long time. I don't think he needs the heaviness of having a number 9, if I'm honest. An out-and-out goal scorer, because that isn't what he is. That isn't what he is. He's not someone who's going to notch you 30 goals a season, if I'm honest. This time last year, he was the first player to actually, in the Premier League, score 10 and assist 10. That's what a Darwin Núñez is to me. He can score, he can assist, and he can break the game down and take you on another level. I've always been a fan of his. I definitely don't want to see him go, and I hope that we stick by him. Let's talk then. And then the game was finished, right? Okay, so I think the ref didn't have the best game. I'm not blaming the ref. I think what Van Dijk said actually was really humbling, where he said, the ref was a bit inexperienced. He didn't speak to the players in the right way, and the Fulham players said the same thing, but we can't blame the ref for the decision. And I agree. I think a draw was probably fair. If not, Liverpool could have edged 3 points. But at half-time, I would have taken a draw all day long, especially made with Arsenal drawing as well, which was, I think that was the biggest shock result of the weekend. Arsenal drawing at home to Everton, great. Anyway, they couldn't have had too many set pieces. I've not seen a game back, but they couldn't have had too many set pieces. At the end of the game, I suppose, the main point is that Liverpool are still top of the league. They have got a point. Yes, Chelsea can edge that tomorrow. And actually, Chelsea played before Liverpool as well, before they play Spurs. So Chelsea actually could be top of the Premier League next weekend before Liverpool play. But all of that being said, I do think it was a positive point. Yes, we could have taken 3, but we all would have taken a point at half time. What does January look like for you, Colin? Do you think there'll be any incomings, because we are at LFC Transfer Room? Do you think there will be any incomings, or do you think that it's a case of we'll stick with what we've got? And West, I'll ask you the same question as well.
I think that there should be. I don't think that there will be. I think there should be one. I would love to see if we've continued to be interested in someone who can play center back and also can play left back. That's a profile that we've heard a lot about over the last 18 months. If we are still interested in someone of that profile, now's the time, I think, given the injury record, given as many games as it looks like we're going to be playing in the new year, with as many competitions as we still hopefully will continue to be in. I think if they were going to do it, I think now's the time. I think that's the only place to me at the moment that really is like screaming for the reinforcement. I think the center backs look a little thin, and I think the left backs are thin. And so if you can get one player who can stopgap at, at like Wes mentioned before, can stopgap, and you guys could at both of those positions rather than just at one or the other. I think that would be a good use of money at this time. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that they're going to be spending any money.
Same question for you, West, really. Do you think that Liverpool should spend money, or do you think they will spend money in January?
Agreed, Colin. I think personally they must, but I don't think they will. But then, like for me, I always said I wanted the DM, but then now I think the left back is screaming for help. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would really take a left back right now. I would really take a Gregorius or whoever a left back right now because because after today's game, like it was really like we really need a left back now because now I think if Liverpool can maintain the lead, our points, even though Chelsea can go on top of us on the following week, but it's football. Anything can happen. Chelsea can lose tomorrow. Chelsea can win tomorrow. We don't know. But then, like, I feel like for Liverpool to still be in the chat, be favorites, I think they need to adjust the left back position. Because I look at everyone, like, people would say we need attackers, but I don't think so. Because look at Jota, came in of injury, slots a goal, get post slots in the goal. So the midfield, Gavin Burge played well today, so I wouldn't like wanna get another DM. But like for me, a DM is something which I would want. But now the position that we're in now is not something that I need right now. I need a fullback, a left back, and a centre back, as Colin said. That's the two I would go for. But then if it's a Liverpool go for a DM, I won't be angry. But then like I feel like that you're facing the real problems now.
I agree. Like, I saw that Liverpool are rumoured to go back in for Zubimendi, and I was thinking, actually, we don't need a Zubimendi. We need a fullback. So, yeah, we'll see. I personally can't see us going in for anybody. I think the old adage will be that Slot is still analysing the players, to be fair. What was quite nice was that Chiesa was on the bench. That was a good thing as well. I did see today. And to be fair, this wasn't the game for Chiesa to come back into. I was quite happy. I wasn't, why are we not getting Chiesa on the pitch? I was quite happy that he wasn't on the pitch. I don't think it's a game for him to come in that cauldron. Hopefully against Southampton, that's the game to come into. And then, against Tottenham as well, which is funny. Tottenham are probably the club who I fear the most in the Premier League, but I also think that we could absolutely turn over in the Premier League, next weekend. It's one of those. They're a cup team. I watched their game against Rangers midweek, and it was one of the best games of football I've seen in the past year, easily, because it's so end-to-end. Now, if Arne Slot's Liverpool go, I was going to say to White Hart Lane, go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and play the controlled way, they'll get a result. Don't get sucked in to Ange's way of playing football, because it could end up 7-7. They're so entertaining. I do think next Sunday is going to be so interesting. It's going to be such a good watch. I'm really looking forward actually to that, because gosh, this game could be anything, couldn't it? And especially if Chelsea win their next two, Liverpool are then fighting against Chelsea. It's so exciting, really, to really enter this Christmas period, and I'm really looking forward to it, Colin. I mean, what do we think? Because we're obviously going to be on stream next Saturday, and we're going to match preview this, no doubt. So it's going to be one of those that we will look forward to. But I'm already counting down the days for it.
Yeah, I as well. I saw that was just last week, and they played Chelsea. My brother is a Chelsea supporter, so I end up watching a lot of Chelsea games as well. And that game was played with no midfield on either team. There was nobody in the center of the park. It was, hey, like, we're gonna move through this middle third like it doesn't exist, and go play in their third, and then exactly the same thing going backwards. Chelsea, neither team interested in playing in the midfield, which is funny because Arne Slot, sometimes I think Liverpool, in the best sort of way, end up being like, oops, all midfield. Like in the best possible way. Van Dijk will go into midfield. Whoever the opposite center back is will go into
Trent
regularly.
goes in.
Trent, all the fullbacks end up in midfield, and then a lot of the forwards as well are dropping into kind of create overloads. So I think it's very interesting to see, stylistically between a team that is, I don't think that they have the midfield personnel to play Tottenham, that is midfield personnel to play through the midfield at the moment, right? And stylistically, the way that they play kind of bypasses that anyways, which is so contrasting to Liverpool, how they play, which is, again, like we're going to own, and I think this has easily been Liverpool's, to me, the most impressive part of their game this season is the kind of control and this kind of resurgence of the Liverpool midfield. I think every single midfielder has played so well all season. I think you go down the entire list of them. I think they've all been really good. So I agree with you. I think it makes for a really interesting stylistic matchup. I'm eagerly anticipating seeing how Arna's gonna handle Big Ange. Who knows? Big Ange might be out of a job after if they don't play well.
Yeah, I'm glad that he held on. To be fair, I'm glad that he held on to a job, because if we could put the nail in the coffin, then fine. At least we've got them at Anfield next. West, listen, we do on a Saturday night club, we do a final thought round, and everyone else, please, we've got 3,325 of you now listening. So if you've got anything that you would like to add, we are winding down. We've got about 5 minutes left, I would say. So yeah, this is the final thought round, and the final thoughts is anything you want to talk about, anything LFC transfer related, anything at all. I think I've said my piece, actually. I don't think I've got anything for the final round, but I'll go to Colin first, and West, I'll let you have some thinking time, because Colin, as says, is a regular on there, and I'm blessed to have Colin as a regular as well, because he's such a good guest. So do you have anything else to add at all for the rest of this week?
Yeah, I do, and this is sort of tangential. The Predators that Trent was wearing today in the cream colorway with the red tongue, but I love a boot spotting. I love as many of those Instagram accounts as Instagram's going to serve me. Those might be the best looking boots I've seen in 10 years.
I love them.
They're unbelievable. If I was him, I would have 20 pairs of those. I'd never wear another pair ever again. That's the best, with the black 3 stripes.
Yeah.
The
David Beckham Preds. Like, absolutely adore them.
They're unbelievable looking. That's again sort of LFC related, but I as a football fan in general, I love a boot spotting. I'd love to see who's customizing their own things, but those Trent ones are they're unreal.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to Adidas next year anyway, so Trent should really be rubbing his hands, not looking at Madrid and thinking, I could do more with Liverpool.
Saving up all my bucks. I'm saving up all my bucks. I'm not buying any more Nike stuff this year. I'm only buying Adidas Liverpool stuff next year. You can catch me in it all year long.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, actually, it's obviously Christmas is coming up, and my wife is asking what I wanted for Christmas, and my birthday is 2 days after Christmas as well. So I was like, I just want this Liverpool gear, So I got like hoodies, tracksuits, and some running tops, and like for my marathon training, which I'll bore you all next year. Don't worry, everyone who's listening, I will definitely bore you all. 2 marathons in 5 weeks that I'm running. But yeah, I basically was like, I bought all of this stash. I'm still waiting for it to be delivered, because obviously I can't have it until my birthday. And I was like, I've just thought they were going to Adidas. So it's going to be so outdated in like 9 months, but oh well. But yeah, those Preds, they are the meanest Preds I've ever seen. Like, I like the black ones, the black traditional Preds. Sure. But the David Beckham ones, that which I always think of David. And do you know what? Yeah. I played rugby when I was younger, as you all know. I played football, but like not really. I was much better rugby player, so I always played rugby. And the boots that I really wanted were the cream Preds with the red tongue and the 3 stripes, and I couldn't bring myself to do it because David Beckham, who played for Manchester United, wore them.
Ooh. I don't blame you, but those are. If I had an adult league to play in, those are the ones I would have them.
Yeah, be the ones that you're rocking now. West, any final thoughts then? And like we've just proven, you can talk about anything football related, mate. So
For me, man, I actually, you know what I like? We got talking about boots, man. I actually like the Liverpool hoodie. I remember the hoodie that I was wearing, the grey one in the Man City game where it was covered like
Yeah.
something. It's just like we now Liverpool next year. Like, are we going to Adidas next year, right?
Hmm.
Yes, yeah.
And since I'm also a Adidas fan. Like, I can't wait to get the kits. Like, I didn't buy a kit this year because like I was planning to go for next year. Like, since we moved to this, I'm like, you know what? Let me do it. Because like I saw like the Adidas Liverpool's old kits, the Adidas ones, and they're kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they kind of like there's one which the green one, the
Yeah.
green, then white. Yeah. Like, I'm actually looking forward for Adidas now next season because I see the way they design. I hate Man United, but I see the way they design the Man United kits, and they're kind of nice. I kind of find it kind of cool. So I wish Liverpool can also get the same design.
There is
I
something sexy about 3 stripes
yeah.
down the sleeve.
The quarters, West, you're so right. The green and white quarters split jersey. I have that. I think about those kits constantly. I love collecting like a vintage kit, and that's probably the one Liverpool kit that when I was collecting, I was like I had my eye on. I had to have. It's unbelievable. Whatever the green, I've seen a lot of mock-ups for what the green ones might be next year. I like all of them. The green
Yeah,
ones, like green and white with the stripes. I'm in.
yeah. West, what is the kit that you're rocking tonight?
Oh no, this is the South African kit, Bafana Bafana.
Oh, Bafana, nice.
Yeah.
It's a
Cool.
good one.
Yeah,
I like it a
yeah, it's
lot.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. I always like the yellow kits, to be fair. Apart from the yellow one that Liverpool had a couple of years ago that looked like you're a McDonald's worker.
I I liked that one.
Did you? Oh, I didn't like it that much.
I don't dislike it as much as their home. I don't like the home jerseys this year. They're not good.
Do you know what? Like, I've
Like you
got the
see the
home
one.
jersey. And the most annoying thing is the collar at the back. It
It
rides upon your
flips.
neck. Yeah, hate it.
I'm
I
out.
don't like
I'm
it.
out. I'd rather just have the actual collar rather than the fake like mock collar.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, I always think of Fernando Torres in the Adidas kit with a folded over collar.
Yeah.
I hate collars. I hate them. Like, I can't stand them. At work, obviously, I have to wear a collar and I have to wear a shirt and tie. I can't stand it. As soon as I get home, I'm like the Incredible Hulk, like, get off. Like, I just want to wear a hoodie or like, I just want to wear like a round neck t-shirt. I hate collars. So I'm really praying that, Adidas do not bring in collars next year for Liverpool Football Club. But yeah, they're onto a gold mine, aren't they, Adidas? I think Nike have done Liverpool well, especially with the deal that Liverpool got. They've done okay. I enjoyed the first kit the best, with the nice V-neck collar, with the green and with the white. I really liked that. I had actually Naby Keita, so maybe I jinxed him on the back of my shirt. So yeah, and funnily enough, on the white shirt, the white Nike one that I've got this year, I really enjoy the white one. I've got Chiesa on the back, so maybe I am the jinx. Who knows?
I need him to get on the pitch. He's got to get on.
Yeah, I really hope that we see Chiesa soon. You excited to see Chiesa, West?
I'm excited to see him this Wednesday. I want to see him start, or maybe coming from the bench like the second half. But I'm really excited for this kid. Is actually my favorite Italian player. I really like. After the Euros, I actually kind of fell in love with him.
Yeah.
Oh, he was brilliant. 100%. I mean,
100%.
I'm an England fan, and I was like, well, listen, Italy have won the Euros. They've beaten England because of Fede Chiesa. So, yeah, we'll see. And there's still only one Italian who's ever won the Premier League. Chiesa could be the second.
It's an unbelievable stat.
Mario Balotelli, the only one who's ever won the Premier League as an Italian. So hopefully Fede Chiesa can be number 2. Right. Thank you so much. Sorry, Wes, what were you saying?
I'm saying Balotelli also played for us, so like it's a bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't win it with us. He did win it with City, but that was the big Aguero moment that took 21 away from Manchester United. So listen, I'm more than happy for him to win that one. Listen, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks for staying with us. We've been going over nearly an hour. There's nearly 4,000 of you who've joined us. So thank you very, 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 very much. A massive thank you to West, who's made his debut on the Saturday night stream. I hope to see you again, West. And as our regular Colin as well, I'm so glad to have you on too. Thank you so, so much for both of your support and both of your help throughout this podcast is what I was nearly going to say, but live stream. But either way, thank you so much. We are going to match preview next Saturday, the Tottenham game, which I'm so looking forward to. It's going to be an absolute barnstormer. I can feel it already. I'm already getting excited. But thank you all so much. I really hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and God bless, and have a very, very good rest of the week. And hopefully we'll see you next Saturday. All right. But as now and as forever, thank you. Take care, and up the Reds.